Hello everyone, welcome in science class. This is our new chapter number 13, weather, climate and adaptation of animals. In this chapter we will discuss about the weather. Weather means a particular state of the atmosphere at a particular time and a particular place. Climate means an average temperature. It means the average temperature of a particular region over a long period of time. Weather is for short period of time, climate is for long period of time. So it is just a state of atmosphere of that place and at that time, only at that time. But climate is over long time, over a long period of time. And adaptation. Adaptation means change either in behavior or either in structure of the animals according to the weather, according to the climate. So in this chapter we will discuss about weather, climate and adaptation of animals. Let's start the chapter. Weather. We always think of weather wherever we may be, or as you can see that nowadays it is cold weather. Cold, you can say that the coldness is day by day increasing. Weather is one of the first thing we notice after we wake up. Obviously when we wake up then we feel that is it hot, is it cold, or is it a kind of rainy weather. It is cold, yes, we wear a sweater. If it is hot and sunny, we wear light cotton clothes. Obviously, we may also look at the weather forecast in a newspaper or on the internet in case we have to go out for a picnic or for a holiday break. But what does weather imply? Let us find out. Obviously, we have to think about the weather when we are planning to go somewhere. We have to find out that what kind of weather is of that place. And it is a smart act. Always we have to do this. So weather is the state of the atmosphere at a particular time and place in terms of certain well-defined terms of elements. That means weather is a state of atmosphere on that particular time at that particular place. That particular time, it may be 1 hour, it may be 2 hour, it may be 3 hour, and only at that particular place. So certain elements, you can say certain elements define it. What are these elements? These elements are temperature. Temperature decide weather. Second one is humidity. That means the amount of water vapors present in the atmosphere, they decide the weather. Cloudiness, that clouds are there or not, that decide the weather. Precipitation, just like you can think about it like raining. Wind, speed of wind will decide the weather, and atmospheric pressure will also decide the weather. So these are the different elements that decide weather of particular place and at that particular time. These conditions are studied in metrology. Metrology, basically it is a kind of you can say science. It is a kind of study in which we will discuss about all these elements. The science of understanding weather and weather forecasting. So what name is given to that science in which weather or weather forecasting will be discussed? That is metrology. And there is a department that is known as metrological department, and the person who study it, that is known as metrologist. So metrologists are the scientists who study weather. Metrologists record these elements of the weather every day. As I told you, every day weather can be changed because it is of short period, it is for short period of time. One day it may be very sunny day and the second day it may be raining. Such constant recording of weather information helps in determining the climate of a given region. Obviously, weather conditions will determine the climate. If one weather condition is constant for long period of time, then that will known as climate. So that will decide the climate. The weather element. Now we will discuss one by one about the weather element. The first one is temperature. Temperature is an indicator of the degree of hotness or coldness. If hotness is more, then we say it is more temperature. If coldness is more, then we say the temperature is less. So temperature is the indicator of the degree of hotness or coldness of the air. Temperature on the earth average 15 degrees Celsius at sea level, but varies according to latitudes, elevation, season and time of the day. All these terms are very much clear to you, I think, because this chapter is something related to your SST, related to your geography part of SST. So temperature on the earth average 15 degrees Celsius at sea level, but varies according to these conditions and these conditions of the day. It can range from a record high of 58 degrees Celsius to a record low of minus 88 degrees Celsius. That means it may be as much high as 58 degrees Celsius and it may be as much as low as minus 88 degrees Celsius. We are discussing about the general condition. As you know, the temperature can be vary from this. Temperature is generally highest in the tropics and lowest near the poles. Obviously, as you know that the tropics and the poles are two different places of our earth, and poles there is very low temperature and tropics there is very high temperature. On the given day, as it usually warms during mid-afternoon, because at that time the hotness of the sun, the temperature provided by the sun is very much high. So that's why the warmest during mid-afternoon and coldest around dawn, just before sunrise, and I want to say after sunset. So second element will be humidity. Humidity, as I told you, it is measure of the amount of water vapors in the atmosphere. How much water vapors are present in the atmosphere, that will decide the humidity. And I want to tell one thing, that normally water vapors are present in the atmosphere. We are not discussing about the normal condition, but if they are more than the normal, then we say high humidity, and if it is less, then we say less humidity. The most common measure of humidity is the relative humidity. It equals the amount of water vapors actually present in the atmosphere divided by the atmosphere's maximum water vapors holding capacity at that temperature. Obviously, that means how much water vapors can be holded by the atmosphere, that is the maximum amount of water vapors. But at that time, how much water vapors are present in the atmosphere? These are the two different conditions. The maximum capacity and the amount present at that time. So the amount of water vapors present at that time is divided by the maximum amount of water vapors, that will count the humidity. It equals the amount of water vapors actually present in the atmosphere divided by the atmosphere's maximum water vapors holding capacity at that temperature. I think it is clear to you. Divide the amount of water vapors present at that time by the maximum water holding capacity at that temperature. Keep this thing in your mind. Third one is cloudiness. Most clouds are produced due to the cooling of air as it rises up. Obviously, as you know that how clouds are formed, they are formed by this method. When air temperature gets reduced, the excess water vapors in the air condensed into liquid droplets. or ice crystals to form clouds or fog. You know about this condition very well. I think this condition is not new for you, that how clouds are formed. Fog refers to clouds that almost touch the ground in dense fog, almost touch the ground. Again, I want to tell you one thing, that fog and cloud. Fog refers to that cloud that almost touch the ground. In winter, we can easily see that kind of foggy condition. So basically, this is also a type of cloud, but they can touch the ground. But usually the clouds which we see high in the sky, they do not touch the ground. In dense fog, the visibility range may be around 50 meter or so. Obviously, fog will reduce the visibility. Fog always reduce the visibility. Next one is precipitation. Precipitation is produced when the droplets and crystals in clouds grow large enough to fall on the ground. As I told you, this is a kind of rain. When the droplets which are collected to form the clouds, when the size of those droplets increases, and now they can retain themselves at that place, so they fall down on the ground, and that is known as precipitation. Precipitation takes a variety of forms including rain, drizzle, snow, hail, ice pellets or sleet. So these are the different, like sometime we say ole pad rahe hain, sometime we say that it is just a kind of rain shower. So these are the different type of precipitation. If you want to know more about them, then please go to the internet, type this word and find out the actual you can say actual picture of these kind of drizzling, snow, hail. But it is just like ole padna, like barish hona, that kind. Another one is wind. The horizontal movement of air is referred to as wind. Obviously, the movement of air, in simple language, we should know the movement of air is known as wind. It is named after the direction from which it comes. For example, a wind coming from north is known as northern wind. In most places near the ground, the wind speed usually averages from 8 km per hour to 24 km per hour. This is an average speed, but if the speed increases, then we say that the large speed or the high speed of wind is there. However, it can be very much higher during intense storms. Obviously, in some condition it is very much higher. Last one, that is the atmospheric pressure. This one is also an element to decide the weather. It plays a vital role in all weather systems. Yes, very important role is played by atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is the force due to the weight of the air on a given surface. Atmospheric pressure, basically weight of the air that is provided, that means the air provides the weight on the surface, that is actually atmospheric pressure, and it is divided by the area of the surface. Obviously, it is divided by the area of the surface. That means on how much area, how much weight of air is provided. These two different conditions are there. On how much area, how much weight of the air is provided. So, weight of air is divided by the area on which that air is provide weight. And falling pressure usually indicate an approaching storm, and rising pressure usually indicate clear skies. So when there is storms like bijli kadakna, badal garajna, that is due to falling pressure, and rising pressure is usually indicate clear skies. In do you know it is written here? This one is basically it was in 1982 that the Indian Metrological Department started operating 100 land-based data collection platforms, now renamed as automatic weather stations, for collecting meteorological data from remote and inaccessible places. Usually India's geostationary satellites inside. These satellites work on that. So the weather report that we collected, that we usually collect with the help of newspaper, or that means these reporting is due to on the basis of this geostationary satellite. In your 8th class you will discuss about this geostationary satellite. So it is very interesting that these satellites provide us an information about the weather, and on that basis we can easily understand the weather condition. The next one topic that we will start is climate, but we will discuss the climate in our next one session. I hope you understand it. Have a nice day. Goodbye.